In a peaceful village, nestled among green fields where faces were always smiling, lived a kind and brave young boy named Aalizil. Life was simple, happy, and filled with the gentle rhythm of nature. But one day, a dark shadow fell upon their idyllic home. A strange, deadly disease began to creep through the village, silent and unseen. It started slowly, a cough here, a fever there. Soon, the strong grew weak, vibrant children fell gravely ill, and a chilling fear settled into every home. The laughter that once echoed through the streets was replaced by worried whispers. The village elders, wise and experienced, gathered day and night, their faces etched with concern. Hope, it seemed, was fading with each sunset. But while many felt helpless, Aalizil refused to let fear win. He looked at the faces of his friends and family, and a fire ignited in his young heart. He couldn't just stand by and watch his home crumble. He firmly believed that for every problem, no matter how big, there had to be a solution. His grandfather, a man of great knowledge, had left behind a collection of old books filled with ancient wisdom and the wonders of science. Aalizil, armed with these texts and his own curious mind, decided to become a detective. His mission, to uncover the secrets of this mysterious illness. He began his investigation with careful observation. He noticed a pattern. The sickness seemed to cluster around certain areas, particularly near the stagnant water sources and places where the air was thick and heavy. He realized the enemy wasn't some magical curse. It was something far more tangible. The disease was spreading through contaminated water and polluted air. It was a scientific problem, and that meant it had a scientific solution. This discovery gave him a renewed sense of purpose. He wasn't just fighting an invisible monster anymore. He was fighting dirt, germs, and ignorance. Aalizil set up a small, makeshift laboratory in a quiet corner of his home. His tools were simple jars, pots, and a fire pit butt. His determination was immense. He spent countless hours poring over his grandfather's books, cross-referencing ancient herbal remedies with his new scientific understanding. He started with the most obvious culprit: the water. He gathered samples from the village well and boiled them, watching as the steam carried away impurities. He then began experimenting with local herbs, testing their properties to see if they could help purify the water and fight the sickness. He wasn't just guessing. He was experimenting, observing, and learning. But he knew that treating the water wasn't enough. He had to stop the disease from spreading from person to person. He needed to teach his fellow villagers how to protect themselves. This was perhaps his greatest challenge. He went door to door, not as a commander, but as a friend. He showed them the importance of simple, yet powerful, actions. "Wash your hands," he would say, demonstrating the proper technique. He fashioned simple protective masks from clean cloth and explained how they could block the tiny, invisible particles that carried the disease. He organized teams to clean up the village, clearing away rubbish and ensuring that every corner was kept spotless. At first, many of the villagers were skeptical. They were used to their old ways, and this young boy's ideas seemed strange and complicated. Fear had made them distrustful of anything new, but Aalizil didn't get discouraged. He met their uncertainty with calm and patience. He didn't just give orders. He explained the why behind every action. He showed them the dirty water under a simple magnifying glass he had crafted. He explained how germs, too small to see, could make them sick. His explanations were clear. His passion was genuine, and his kindness was disarming. Slowly, one by one, the villagers started to listen. They saw the logic in his words and the sincerity in his eyes. Aalizil's ambition didn't stop there. He knew he had to tackle the polluted air. Looking up at the sky, he found his inspiration in the most powerful and reliable source of energy he knew: the sun. Using polished metal sheets and wooden frames, he designed and built a simple, yet ingenious, air filtration system. It was a marvel of basic engineering. The device used solar energy to heat the air, which then passed through layers of charcoal and clean cloth, trapping pollutants before releasing fresh, purified air back into the village. He placed this invention right in the center of the village square, a beacon of innovation and hope. Next, he turned his attention back to the water source. It wasn't enough to just boil water in every home. He needed to fix the problem at its root. He organized a group of villagers, and together, they worked to repair and improve the village well. They built a protective cover to prevent contaminants from falling in, and created a simple filtration system using layers of sand, gravel, and charcoal, just like he had read in his grandfather's books. For the first time in weeks, everyone in the village had access to cool, clean, safe drinking water. The change was not immediate, but it was undeniable. Slowly, like the first shoots of spring after a long winter, life began to return to the village. The people who had been sick started to regain their strength. The fever subsided, the coughs faded, and color returned to their cheeks. The children, once too weak to play, were soon heard laughing and running through the fields again. The heavy blanket of fear that had suffocated the village began to lift, replaced by a growing sense of optimism and relief. Within a few weeks, the deadly disease that had threatened to destroy them had vanished completely. The air was clean, the water was pure, and the people were healthy. The day the last sick person was declared fully recovered, the entire village erupted in celebration. They gathered in the square, their hearts overflowing with gratitude. They surrounded Aalizil, lifting him onto their shoulders and cheering his name. They called him their hero, their savior, the boy who had single-handedly defeated the darkness. But Aalizil, with a humble smile, gently shook his head. He looked out at the crowd of happy, healthy faces and said, "I am not the hero. We are all heroes." He explained that it wasn't one person who saved them. It was knowledge, shared and applied. It was courage, found in every person who chose to try something new. And most importantly, it was teamwork, the spirit that brought them all together to clean their homes, fix their well, and care for one another. From that day forward, the village was never the same. It became a symbol of hope and resilience, a living testament to what a community could achieve when it united. Aalizil's story was told and retold, passed down from generation to generation. It served as a powerful reminder for everyone, everywhere, that even the youngest heart, when guided by the light of science, the warmth of kindness, and the strength of community, has the power to overcome the darkest of dangers and protect the future of humanity. Thank you so much for watching. If this story inspired you, please hit that like button